Hello, everyone, and welcome to Footy Abroad here on your Tuesday, the 8th of April, 2025. We have got a show for you all tonight, don't we? Don't we?
We do.
Yeah, I think we do. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be a show.
Buckle in. Get the popcorn out. Buckle in.
It's hot. It was hot in the waiting room before we went live. And it's, I think we're going to have a lot to get off our respective chests. But as we always do, we'll introduce one by one. Winners at the top, losers at the bottom. Jake from Sage TV. Hello, mate.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me back for another week. It's good to be here. It's very good to be here, actually. Too good to be here. It's so good to be here. We took Port to school, so I thought I'd wear the school uniform. All right. Ross took Ken Hinkley to the cleaners, and we took down Port Adelaide for the first time in 5 years, boys. That is why we're making a big deal. Not because we beat Port. It's because we got over a bogey team. We got the monkey off the back, got the wine, got the sunnies, got the tie, and we got 3 wins out of 4. So we're doing all right.
And who locked you guys in last week? This guy.
You did. I think Terry did the week the Geelong game as well.
Yes,
so we've actually had a good track record. So Pom, we're relying on you this week, mate. You got to be the good luck charm.
No prash.
Yes.
To be fair, you did say after the Geelong game that you weren't going to get too excited and it would only mean something if you went to Adelaide and beat Port. So
yeah, exactly. And I stuck to that promise. I didn't want to make a big deal out of the Richmond game either, even though that was a nice performance, but to go and do what we did and the manner that we did it. If you guys watched the game, and particularly that first half, we're playing a consistent brand of football now. The last 3 weeks, you could say we've played the exact same way every week, and it's pretty exciting. Second highest scoring team in the comp, blooding a lot of youngsters and doing it all without our captain on the weekend when Port had Butters back. That's, not a bad effort. So we can't be doing too much more, really. Consider all things considering. So pretty stoked to be in the 8 at the moment. See how long it lasts, but we'll enjoy it right now.
fuck, must be nice.
You think I'm enjoying it too much, do you, Terry?
No, as in you enjoy however you enjoy. You deserve to enjoy it. Fuck. I'm just saying it must be nice to, win.
It's just a different type of win. I haven't seen this type of win in a long time, to go away and to beat Port. And they were under pressure too, and their fans are always going to get out and about and pump them up. Horn Francis was doing everything to try and win them the game, basically. They tried to get physical. If you guys watched it, they tried to intimidate us and get in our face, and we really tried to we gave it back, which was the most pleasing thing. A lot of Naz, Garcia, Windy got fired up, and yeah, we gave it back physically, but also on the scoreboard, which is, at the end of the day, that's what counts most. So, yeah, massive win for us. So, Giants this week, another test.
Love to see it. Swoop Luke, hey mate.
Good evening. Good evening, guys. Yeah, a good God. Winning on a Thursday sets up your entire 3-4 day weekend. It was it was good. Always good beating the Blues. And look, I said on Footy Abroad last week that I was kind of wary that you guys would come out. I kind of had a feeling that you'd be not on top, but thereabouts at halftime, and you guys were. And Josh Dacos said it best. He said that they knew that they could break them, and break them. We did in that third quarter. The weather was a bit how's it going, but made for a really, really scrappy game. Wasn't a pretty game, but yeah, it was good. It was good to look. I'm going to say it, but it was good to put a nail into the Blues' coffin for the season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I love you guys, but
no, I get it.
I don't love the Blues, but yeah, it was good.
Pommy, how'd you go, mate?
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I mean, look, the only enjoyment I had this weekend was seeing Windhager wear Conor Rosé like a cheap-made suit. That was pretty good. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's tough. Look, no offence to Swoop, but I can't stand losing to Collingwood at the best of times. But that was, pants. I think the hardest part for me last week was Swoop taking the piss and lying to me, saying he was scared of the freaking Blues.
My God. I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying.
You're lying right now.
Honestly. Do you know what I mean? I can go with my team letting me down, but when my own mates are lying to me, I mean, that was the final nail in my coffin.
God damn. Is that why I tried calling you that day and it was blocked? It's like, oh, this person must have changed their number.
Haven't fully recovered from watching Adam Chera just walk after Josh Dacos in the fourth quarter. I haven't quite recovered from that. I keep waking up in the morning screaming, "Just run!
That's all right.
I'm taking it now. You what?
You only signed Chera on for another 5 years, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
mate. What's 5 years when you've had a lifetime of disappointment? It's not much.
Yeah, I obviously very sad, very pissed off about what happened. So Friday morning, so fan camps Thursday night, went for about just over 2.5 hours. Got to bed, woke up really early. I went down the road and I went into the sauna. So I'm in the traditional sauna, right? So it's like 95 degrees in there. And there was another guy in the sauna with me. He walks in and like super nice guy. But you got to think about me. I've just woken up. I've wanted to make sure that I've done the sauna, ice bath before I do my review because I want to make sure that I'm not too over emotional. So I'm not really up for the yap. This guy wanted to like talk. Oh, so what do you do? And like, you can't tell someone to shut the fuck up. It's not nice.
Yeah.
So I had to close my eyes and just like sort of communicate that way that I wasn't in the mood to talk. But I also understand that like he doesn't care. It's football. Like, and also it's so much to me in that moment, but it's really not anything to anyone. So that was a really interesting Friday morning for me. And yeah, look, mate, the Carltons suck, man. They suck.
Yeah.
Like we suck. There's no other way to put it. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
What did you boys make, Pom and Terry? What did you make of Voss's presser? Because I watched it, but I'm just curious from a Carlton perspective, what emotions came up while hearing his sort of reasoning.
Why now? Why talk like that now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Do you think it's just about preserving his job now? Is that why he's sort of saying, "Nah, it's me. It's the team"? Because there's no way you guys get rid of him, right? Like I know it's a Carlton thing to do, but you have to. He's a good coach with a good team. They're just not clicking. Is how I see it outside looking in, anyway. I guess the silence says it all. Anyway, first topic, guys.
Can I kick it off this week?
Jake, you absolutely can, mate.
I love that it's 10 minutes in and we're already jumping into topics. All right. That really explains everything. So my topic this week is linked to a man that we all know, Kane Corns, but it's not going to go in that avenue. And it kind of got me thinking about calls that we've made over the years, because we know Kane's very much the type of guy that makes outlandish calls and doesn't say he's wrong. But what are calls that we have made that we can look back on and go, shit, I was really wrong about this player or this team.
How long have you got?
This is an amazing.
So I thought this was a good topic to kick it off. I'll start, and this is pretty, maybe not controversial. Maybe it is actually. I thought at the end of 2023, when the Lions lost the flag, I thought Chris Fagan wasn't good enough as a coach to take the Lions to a premiership. I thought he was going to be the prelim grand final loss, the Ross Lyon type, where he wouldn't quite get there. and that they needed someone else. So he built the nucleus, he built the team, but you needed a more tough senior type of guy to take him to the promised land. Maybe like Carlton now, I don't know, but that was my take. I didn't think Fagan would be a premiership coach ever. So I got that one massively wrong. He's one of the best coaches, and he might go back-to-back this year. So I'll put my hand up and say I got that one big time, very wrong. So what do you reckon, Swoop? What was your big take?
Child's play.
Pommy looks like he's ready to go. Let me still think of one, because I know I've said a few, but I know the Carlton boys have definitely got about a dozen to talk about. So.
Oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, pop shot, everything. Clubs are totally off. That's what you want.
Come on, Pom.
Fuck! I've got a list. We could do a 6-hour segment on stupid shit Pom's got wrong. I'll go with the most famous one because we're Saints themed tonight. I stood there in a suit and a pre-written speech and looked you all in the camera and told you Liam Stocker is the next Luke Hodge.
I was next to him. I was standing next to him.
There you are.
In what?
No way! He's not. I think Carlton fans overrate their players. If you're saying that's not even a big call, no,
I'm saying
Stocker,
like he's not even a left footer. Like I just don't.
I meant as a half-back flanker that could maybe go into the midfield. That was going to be an enforcer and tough and lead Carlton to what was going to be a dynasty. When I said 2022 will definitely be the force in football. I mean, there you are. I mean, there's loads. Josh Honey's the next Tom Papley. Don't worry about missing out on that. We've got a Papley clone. Don't worry about Port Adelaide. Peter Adams isn't a real ruckman. And I think he proceeded to have 30, 45 hit-outs and kick 4 goals. Mate, the list is long.
I think this is a great topic. We all say a lot of things right, but we all say a lot of things wrong. So acknowledging it now, get rid of that bad juju and put it to the audience. Terry?
I wish it was that because I take the piss out of it every day.
Honestly, where could I start? Well, I mean, you could go as early as my preseason video this year. Yeah, Carlton, I can see him winning 16, 17 games. So we'll just knock that one off straight away. But I think the one that comes to mind that is the most famous is the week before Collingwood kicked us out of finals and we lost to Melbourne in heartbreaking fashion. And I think I was on the fan cams and I'm like, man, it's written in the stars, it's just meant to be.
I remember that.
So there's that. In terms of players or things like that, I don't really remember too many that have gone horrifically wrong. I mean, maybe whatever, but I think that one, written in the stars, that's probably the famous one, I would say.
What are any in the comments? What have people said they've gotten wrong?
Yeah, but you guys in the chat having a laugh at us. But what about your wrongness, guys?
Come on.
I've said a lot of just stupid shit over the 6 years that I've done Swoop, and I can't really put a finger on something that I got super wrong. But I remember pre-Swoop, and just as a Collingwood fan, I remember back in 2012 when we signed Quinton Lynch. I thought this guy's going to take us to the fucking promised land. This guy is going to be that big forward that's going to stay in that forward line, old Lynchy with the glove, and he's going to kick 60, 70 goals in a season. Mind you, I think he came to us when he was 31 or something. So, but I thought we were out of sorts with our forwards, trialing with Jesse White and Dawsey and stuff like that. And I thought, here we go. Quinton Lynch, big guy, West Coast. We've seen him do it. He's done it time and time again. He's going to have the delivery. And I 100%, I think he only played 15 games for the Pies or something. And I don't even think he kicked 20 goals just in general when he played for the Pies. But that was one that I definitely got wrong. But in regards to Swoop, I don't know, man. I've just said I can't think of one thing off the top of my head, but know that I've said so much fucking dumb shit. I guess the main one, kind of like Terry's one when he said in preseason, I was adamant at the start of last season that I even think I put $100 and something on Pies going back to back. Like it was a certainty. I read into, I think it was Cam Mooney came out and said, I've got connections at the club, and they're saying that they've never seen a team bounce back into preseason from a premiership as well as Collingwood did. Players were training like a week after the premiership. So I thought, here we go. This is like, take it to the bank. I pretty much literally took it to the bank, and fell for that hook, line, and sinker.
Fair enough. I mean, if you're going to drink the Kool-Aid, it's going to be the Premiership Kool-Aid.
Yeah, not a bad one to drink. Not bad. That's one that I definitely didn't even make fucking finals. I think the funniest thing about that interaction of that was the year before in 2022. So the start of 2023, Geelong just came off their premiership, and I remember they went 0-3, and I remember tweeting, "It's pretty funny seeing a premier go 0-3, after a premiership. It's pretty pathetic," or whatever I said. And then the Pies in 2024 went 0-3 to start their season, and then people just kept bringing up that tweet. And I was like, "Fuck, that's something that I definitely got wrong." It's not pathetic. It happens to the best of us.
Yep.
Bins. Yeah.
Some mild ones from chat. I'm proud of you, chat. You're good.
Yep. Well done, chat. Well done being, vulnerable with us.
How good was Chera when you got him? I can't even remember pre-Carlton Chera now. How good was he? Like, was he top 10 mids?
It was like a
potential.
potential.
What potential to be?
It was I mean,
he was behind Sarong and Brayshaw at Fremantle. I remember doing a tweet saying that, "Can Carlton fans stop telling me he's class and define it as an actual stat?" And here we are. I mean, for everything I've got wrong, I've got some right as well. But the Stocker one does ring true. I still think Stocker is a bit of Luke Hodge, to be fair.
I don't know.
His tackle on the weekend was huge.
Ooh, mate!
That's the shit.
For that Nas goal.
Yes, that's when I thought we're not losing this game. He laid that, and then Naz went end to end and kicked a goal. I was like, "Nah, we're winning this game. Everything's working. They're on." So
good times.
Every team needs a Stocker, someone like that just flies the flag, like a Maynard.
The next Hodge, mate. Telling you, you heard it here first. It was just 10 years too late.
I reckon I can find the video.
Oh yes.
Oh come on! Like
now he just wants to rewatch it.
Okay, maybe another.
He's looking.
Maybe another.
You
time.
can play it. I don't care. I got it wrong. Come at me.
What year was it?
I think more so just to see younger me and Pom this is when you can go to Icon Park and just walk in and film. Anyway,
before I had greys.
Yeah, fuck, man.
Before I was cynical.
So that would have been how long ago would that have been? That would have been
2019 or 20-ish.
Far out. Yeah. Bloody hell.
Really like Stocker as well.
Naive.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, it would have been what, 2018 draft.
Yeah, so it
would have been our first draft preview.
Wow, that was before this Saints TV even existed. Holy, that's
same here. Bloody hell.
Liam Stocker, tough, hard at it.
Yeah, he's
clean leadership qualities.
Love him.
The flag reigning premiers, Richmond were all over him. Thought we got ourselves a deal.
Yeah, you could have used him on Thursday.
He was meant to balance the force, not destroy it.
I still love him. I love him. I love him as a human being. I always will.
Stocker, if you're watching this, I've slated you every time we played Saints just because you're an enemy now. But I do love you. Yeah, but you'll always be one of my favourite draftees.
I think he gets it. Like he would still love you and understand that. Like he has a really, he just gets it. Stocker gets it. Whatever it is about football and passion and like he doesn't take it to heart. He gets it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good question.
Why do we have to bring it up? I was happy then. There was so much hope. We were going to be a club.
He lives with, Vinny mentioned he lives with Hugh Boxall at the moment as a mentor.
Oh, mate, can you imagine them
Awesome.
two together?
Yeah. Boxall, he had like 17, well, actually, no, that was, no, Dan Butler had 14 tackles. I thought it was Boxall, but nice. Yeah, very good.
Luke?
Cool. So my topic is something that's been in the news recently around Noah Bolter. So we've all seen, I'm pretty sure we've all seen the footage and seen what happened with the assault. And Richmond and the AFL came out and gave him 6 weeks. Said you couldn't play for 6 weeks. And so his 6 weeks is up now, or 6 games is up now. And there's talks that they're going to bring him back. And Adam Uze was asked that by some reporters and stuff, and said, he served his football penance. But my main concern, or my main talking point, is that he still is going up. He's still going up to get to plead and whatnot. And the assault, if you watch that video, that's what we're trying to get out of, not even football, just society, just in general. And what my main sort of topic or question around this is, what are we telling young men if you can coward punch someone, because that guy was on the floor, coward punch someone, only get done for 6 weeks at your AFL club that's paying you, I don't know what it is, $250,000, whatever it is, and then you can still play before you even have a guilty or not guilty verdict. And there's still talks that he might get up to 5 years in jail. So I guess my question is sort of double-ended. One, do you think he should play because he's served that 6 weeks, and the AFL have washed their hands and said, "Yep, it's all good. He can play if that's what you want him to do." Or do we have to be harder on these? I know it doesn't happen all the time, but I think we just have to throw the book at him, just like the judicial system will.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's got a couple of weeks window between when he gets his verdict. So he's technically eligible for selection because the 6 week suspension happened.
Correct.
And then say 2 weeks window where he technically could play, but if he's found guilty, then he'll get some more punishment. So your question is, should he play in that window? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in that window before the verdict is done. Yeah.
I don't think
feels kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if if it was your own club, I don't know if I'd want that player playing. Yeah.
You'd want it all like dealt with first, off field, go, get that all sorted. But 6 weeks, how did they come up with that number anyway? Like,
how does the AFL come up with any? How does the AFL come up with any number?
Like if on field discretion is 3 weeks with a high tackle, and then some guy punches a bloke, he gets 6. That just seems like a weird. Like they're almost too similar. Like 3 and 6. Like one guy's a coward punch, and then the other's just a sling tackle. It's like, I don't know why they kind of treating it. It feels like it's just not harsh enough to me. Yeah, he shouldn't play at all. I agree with Maz. Like, does the club liaise with the police to come up with 6 weeks? How does that? I just want to know what the fault. Like, where does that even come from?
It would have something to. I mean, the AFL would make that up in some way.
But how does the AFL have that much control based on something that didn't even happen on a footy field? Should they even have?
Well, I think your actions off the footy field or away from footy are you're still held to a standard because you represent the AFL, even though you might not be in uniform. If you're a player and you do something away from footy, on the weekend, like you bring the game into disrepute. You're representing the AFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why even put a number on it then? Just say you're not playing until this is done.
I think that's the biggest.
It's indefinite.
Thing.
You were out indefinitely. Yeah. It shouldn't be 6 weeks because everyone's counting down the weeks, and then he's back. But then you don't know. There's pressure on the club because maybe his case isn't closed. It just doesn't add up to me. To clarify, he's pleading guilty. It's just sentencing.
Yeah, so that's a good one that I've been seeing in the comments a lot. So okay. So he has pled guilty to it. It's just the sentencing, and the sentencing could be. It's still on the table of up to 5 years in prison. And I think Liam said it as well. So it was a push initially, but then when the guy was on the floor, he came out and do we have to say allegedly assaulted him, or
just say it anyway?
He allegedly assaulted him while he was on the floor.
Yeah. Was he much bigger than the other guy? I haven't seen that.
Of course he is. He's 200 centimeters and
yeah.
110
I mean,
games.
he's not,
Unless he was the Incredible
True.
Hulk.
Yeah. Fair call.
Yeah, I don't know this. I mean, look, the video footage paints a picture, but it doesn't paint the full picture.
The whole picture, 100%. Of course. No, of course. That's why you wait for the sentencing. But,
like obviously that action in isolation, the guy's hunched over, bolted, like that is painting a very grim picture. I've actually been in a situation before where I got into a fight. The guy started it. He called my girlfriend at the time, called her a slut in front of me, and like I got it sort of kicked off, and then it popped off, and then it got to a situation where he was about to hit me again, and I had to like hit him. It was just it wasn't meant to go where it went, and it happened. Yeah. And I remember initially got painted as a king hit, and luckily social media fixed that situation, and it was all good in the end.
Really?
Like it can happen in the blink of an eye, and alcohol is involved, and it's scary what can happen out there when you're out.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
The bit I will say, there was a famous case of this in the UK. England's captain now, Ben Stokes. So if you remember, Ben Stokes got into a Bristol fight, very similar to this one, where he threw 15 punches in a minute. And Ben Stokes put his hands up straight away, pled guilty. Then at sentencing, it turned out that 10 minutes before this, 2 gay men were being mocked by this man, and Ben Stokes had asked him to leave and leave the gay guys alone. And then it turned out that what triggered it was Ben Stokes heard a phone call where this gentleman had told his mates, there's 2 gay men here, let's beat them up. So Ben Stokes took the matter into his own hands and went too far, copped the thing. But very similar to this, if you look at the footage, Ben Stokes punched him to the ground, got on top of him, threw 15 punches in a minute, like knocked the guy out, broke his jaw. And then at the court case, Ben Stokes' lawyer brought these 2 gentlemen who said that Ben actually protected them and they don't validate the violence, but they're thankful. And Ben Stokes was accused of homophobia 6 years before, and he'd gone through the ECB program, and he said that this is why he had these values now. It was his job to make a stand. And so even though I think he shouldn't play until he's been sentenced, and because I look at Tyson Stengel. Tyson Stengel got caught drink driving, and 2 weeks later was found with Crouch with some ecstasy. And the AFL recommended to the AFL that he would have his contract cancelled and banned from all levels of AFL football. All levels. It doesn't quite make sense. If you've been caught with a bit of gear and you're obviously needing a bit of help, the AFL will ban you. But this guy's assaulted someone, and by the looks of the footage, it doesn't look like the guy's done anything, because the guy looks like he's just there chowing down on his snack. Makes it hard. So this is a fascinating one, because I would have thought, wait until you're sentenced. Like, you stood down.
That's
once we've got the outcome, then we will look at a punishment. I think the 6-week ban shouldn't be a ban. It should be a blanket rule. If you're arrested, you're suspended, and then the punishment comes after the sentencing. So if it's 100 hours community service, it'll be something ridiculous, won't it? 200 hours community service, a fine. Richmond will probably get involved and give him a little bit of coin as well to not go mental. Then the 6 games should be after that. Like, it feels a bit stupid that we're saying, okay, you can king hit someone, that's great.
Before, exactly, That's the biggest thing that I want to see sort of bring up. If it should have just been wait until sentencing, not just 6 weeks, and then you got this weird window, like you said, Terry, of like, he can play for 2 weeks, but then he gets sentenced again. It's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it as well.
I don't know if there was maybe an adjournment in the sentencing, and maybe they thought the 6 weeks would cover when he would be sentenced, and then like there's a number of things. There's a number of reasons why it could, why we have this little window here. So it's interesting. It's always interesting when. I mean, this has happened off field, but there has been a couple of situations on the field. I think Lee Matthews hit someone in the 80s potentially, and he was actually charged with assault. I mean, that might be another whole question and topic in its own thing. Like, when does the line get drawn between assault and, within the realms of a football game? I think the game right now we don't really have to worry about that anymore because we don't have that style of footy happening. So yeah, it's interesting though.
Yeah, and I guess one of the famous examples, or infamous examples, is someone mentioned it rudely in the comments. But anyway, it was Jordan De Goey when all that stuff happened in New York. The club didn't say, okay, 8 weeks, and then you go. The club stood him down. You couldn't train with the club. You couldn't do anything, not even be associated with the club until everything panned out and everything went to court and all cases were heard and all that sort of stuff, or whatever it may have been. But the club just blanketed until we know exactly what happened. And that's why it was a little bit different with Bolter. They gave him 6 weeks, and I think it just needs to be sentencing or court case, done.
Fair.
But it's definitely something that we have to bring up if we're talking about mental health, and we're all advocates for being better people and stuff like that. And what example does it sort of set? But
yeah. Love it. Pommy, you want to go?
All right, let's do it. Right, so you've got something special for this, so let's get it going. Okay. Welcome everyone to Pommy's Room 101, the only show on telly where we get to put away your grievances, your misdemeanors, the things your pet hates, and banish them to the famous George Orwell's Room 101, where nothing exists on the plane of existence. While my special guests, Terry, Sweet Luke, Mr. Jake, and the beautiful studio audience think of their ultimate thing to cast away to the football world. So I want one thing from the football world and one thing from life. Could be something big, something small, something that annoys you. Let's have a look at some examples. So, if you're an Adelaide fan, you may want to cast away Tom Hawkins, who had a good laugh at Adelaide's expense this week.
A statement as you can get from a club official in relation to the AFL and League HQ. They're clearly not happy with it, but the AFL's a bit at fault with that, with the umpiring in the dying minute and a half of that.
Absolutely, the Crows were robbed. Right in front of me. Right in front of me.
That Brooke is definitely a little bit upset. But you might be a Carlton fan who might be sick of Michael Voss like myself. And in this clip here, he answered Tom Morris's question, can you explain Carlton's second half fade-out?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Or you might be a Doggies fan who is sick of the Doggies not buying proper key defenders and making people do a job that's not for them. Here's Rory Lobb explaining to Marcus Bontempelli he's maybe a bit too scared to ask Beveridge to say he wants to go back forward.
She said no. I don't know if I could take that kind of a rejection.
So there we have it. Lots happening in the AFL this week. So I'll start with Swoop. Swoop, your job here is simple. You have got to explain to me why I pressed the button to banish something from football away from all of eternity. The black hole, it will never exist. And then also something in life you'd like to remove for all of eternity. And if I agree, we'll banish it. If I don't, you're stuck with it.
Okay. All right. First one that comes to my head for football is I want to get rid of the insufficient intent rule because it doesn't fucking work. It does not work. And it's always just a pain in the ass whenever they call it. Bring back deliberate or make it something else, but get rid of insufficient intent. Lock it up.
You know what? I'll let you have that because I agree with you. The stupidest rule in the AFL, make it easy. And what's annoying you in life, Swoop? Something that you just remove from existence.
Okay. This is my pet peeve. I hate this so much. I want to remove people on Earth, right, that do their groceries in a trolley and don't fucking put it back into the trolley bay. I don't want to have to get out of my car when I'm trying to park and move the fucking trolley because you were too lazy. There's a special place in hell for you. Fuck off. Get out of here. Get out of this existence.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that.
Grinds my gears.
Honestly, them people they're just not humans. Let's be honest.
Yeah. No. Just it's 10 meters away. Just put it back. God damn it. Put it back.
I love it.
Oh my God.
I genuinely feel that anger.
No, it genuinely makes me up. It genuinely makes me upset. Like, and I go out of my way to put the trolleys back, and these lazy bastards can't do it themselves. Imagine what they're getting away with at home. Like, I don't know, not putting dishes away. Their parents don't love them. I don't know, man. Just put the trolleys back. Fuck.
Mate, I love it. No, I'm with you there. Let's remove that from existence. You know, Terry, you've sat there quietly. One football thing you'd like to remove from all of eternity. Sweep's got a full set there. Both of them banished. Get rid of them.
2 from 2, baby.
You know when you scan into a stadium like the MCG and you want to go say hello, like you get there an hour early, we'll say, and you want to go say hello to someone who's in a bay, but they won't let you go in between the intersection of like AFL members and, you know, club members, and like they literally just don't let you pass through. Once you scan in, just let people move. Let them move.
Mate, I'm with you there. Yeah, Australians have an inability to queue, so when you give them the option to queue, it goes chaos. So no, mate, I'm removing. Yeah, let's remove it. 101.
Like, I want to go say hello to the cheer squad, for example. Like, give some hugs and like say hello, like catch up with people. It's like you got to go outside the stadium to catch up. Anyway? So there's that.
Love it,
mate. That is ridiculous. To be fair, something in life, Terry, something trivial in life that you'd like to banish. We have the power right now to remove it from all of eternity.
Imagine people stopped fucking having a loser mentality and took full ownership of their behaviors. Imagine.
Yes.
Imagine what we could do as a society.
Oh, preach.
No, you know what, Terry? It's deep, but let's do it. Let's remove excuses from the world.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just be honest, man. Honest, man. Like, just own it.
I love it.
No, I'm with you, Mr. Jake. Yeah, you must have. There's not much wrong in your world, 3-1.
No, I'm actually, it's
Stocker's the next Hodge.
Everything's just working out for me at the moment, which is a very rare moment for me. So I'm trying to soak it in as much as I can. In AFL, I mean, it depends how specific we get. Firstly, I was thinking of like a bad bounce because we've had many bad bounces as a St Kilda supporter. 2010, I just feel like if the ball could just bounce straight more times than not, that would be good for football. The game will keep moving in a forward momentum. I feel like that would be nice. But the big one, and I feel like it's very much influencing what we do. It's driven us to do what we're doing, but I think it's influencing the AFL media world in a negative way, is the alarmist journalism. I'd like to remove a little bit of that. Can I put a percentage on it? Maybe like 60%. Remove 60 to 65% of it. I don't think all of it needs to go, but I think if we remove Kane Corns from every TV show, that's probably 65% gone. So I feel like if we could remove Kane, maybe put him into early retirement on an island somewhere with Ken Hinkley, that would work pretty nicely for me. Is that possible? I don't know if is that too much to ask?
I do like, when you were talking about let's remove bounces, I was like, there is a sport that has that. We call it soccer. Like, just change the shape of the ball. But because you switched, I'm going to forgive you. Yeah, let's banish Kane Corns. Sensational journalism capped at 65%.
Yeah.
So you've only got 35 left. You can only be sensationalist 35% of the time. I like that.
I think we could all live with that, couldn't we? The odd little outlandish call, you're like, yeah, I could live with that. So I appreciate that, Pom. Thank you very much. And in life, in life? I mean, that's a tricky one. There's not much that, please, for the love of God, get rid of Caro. Poor Caro. She's actually been in good form this week, to be honest. So,
Oh, did you see what you did to old mate? Bloody Hutchie. Called him right out on live TV.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So you need some
Anyway, sorry.
alarmism in there.
Yep.
I don't know. I think I genuinely couldn't think. The only thing that weirdly came to mind was when I walked downstairs and I see my room, like my neighbors leaving, and I leave the door open for them, and then they don't say thank you, they don't acknowledge it, and they just leave. And I just feel like human decency. So similar to what Terry was saying, obviously in the bin, like just look someone in the eye and say, hey, or thank you very much, or have a nice day, or whatever. How much that could make someone's day. We don't know how bad someone's day is going, so don't make it worse. Just try and make it better. Assume that everyone's having a shit day, and try and make it better. 5% thank you. You know, give them $100 if they need, whatever you want. You know, depends on what you're carrying, but I think that the door thing pisses me off. That's the one that gets me. That's the one that gets me, Pom. And I know you value those simple things in mental health, so we ought to take care of each other.
Mate, honestly, dickheads who honestly don't say thank you when you leave the door open. They honestly, I have to fight slamming it back on them. Like part of me wants to pull them back out of the door.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it where there's two people coming down the stairs, so I can't actually go up the stairs because it's quite narrow, and I have to stand there with the door open like a bloody, what do you call them? The doorman, and they all leave. They don't say shit, and then I shut it, and I'm like, are you joking? I took 25 seconds out of my day.
That's the worst. If you do it at Christmas time, like you open the door and it's a busy Christmas Eve shop, you might be stuck there for 7 years.
100%. 100%. So that's something.
Real. I've got actually. Can I have another one? Can I have another one?
And remove the Eagles song as well. That would be good. Good one. Get rid of it. Yeah.
Look, get this off your chest. Uncle Pommy is here to listen. Go on.
Okay, so this is very specific to people who go to the gym. But if you're doing if you're on the cable machine or whatever you're doing, let's just say you're doing a lat pull down, right? And you can you can do 80 kilos and you can do 6 reps. Amazing. Just if you can do the rep going down, don't fucking let it go. Place it slowly. I don't want to shit myself every time someone is dropping a weight. When they're doing like squats or whatever, I understand. But if you're doing it on the cable and you can hold it down, just slowly leave it up.
Yes.
Don't just let it go. And you're damaging equipment that I have to come out of my membership because I've got a costly fee of every 3 months to pay for it. I don't want to have to do that.
I agree with you.
Softly, just soft let it go. Just soft let it go. Don't be a dickhead. Don't be a douche.
That triggered me. People leaving the building and slamming the door downstairs.
God damn it.
Slamming the
door.
Our next door neighbours here work nights, and it's like 3 a.m. He'll go to work and he slams his front door and then slams his car door. And then for some reason he revs the car. And honestly, every time I want to go out and throw the cat at him. Every fucking time. Every time. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah, I've got an obscure one, if I may indulge. Mine is in the peak hours, I would like to ban 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. on weekends and 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays. When you are in Coles car park or Woolies, anywhere in Australia, any idiot that attempts to reverse into a car parking space, it is completely selfish. No fucker can do it. We get it. But why should I have to wait to get that one space 3 cars down from you that some idiot goes the wrong way and steals, all because I've had to watch you piss about? It should be banned. It should be illegal. You should be banned from reverse parallel parking if you can't fucking do it.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Oh, God, I can do it for fucking 5 hours. Let's keep going.
There's my segment. Welcome to Pom's Room 101.
Wow.
I love it.
That was
I love
sensational.
That was unreal. Yeah.
Oh
Intro as
God.
well.
Look at that. Look, I got all my own memes. There was a lot of work that went into that chat. A lot
That was
of
good.
work went into that.
That was good. I think it was Liam that said the production value has gone right up on Tuesday nights
Yeah,
now. So
we've amped it. The budget's gone up. That's for sure.
Yep.
We paid for some of those movie spots as well, so that's not copyright at all. So we're good.
Liam Glover's a good Collingwood man as well, so I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate the compliment. Look, I mean, look, I even got dressed up for you as well, chat. Hey,
That was incredible. That whole.
do you know how
segment.
hard it is to get undressed in a 28-second intro?
I can only imagine.
I'll say I've tried it.
Hey, tell you what, that took me back to my days of,
That's
being
like-
single and finding out that the girl I'm with has a husband and he's due home in 10 seconds. Good practice.
Oh, those
Well,
days.
that
Those days.
pre-show energy that's carried through. This is really
It
delivered
has.
so far.
Yeah,
so,
it has.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. I've got a list of questions. I can't ask them all. I might ask 2 or 3. Some of them will be pretty quick. First one is being a footy fan an expression of deep love, or is it just learned loyalty? So the context is, did we choose our club, or was it chosen for us? And if it was chosen for us, do we love it, or are we just conditioned to?
Yeah, that's a really good question. 'Cause It's an interesting point because I think I've mentioned on the show before, but
Thank you,
even
Bernard.
from a St Kilda perspective, I think I've mentioned that every sport that I go for, it could be a sheer coincidence, or maybe it's something about those teams or people that draws me to it. But I always go for the underdog in a way. Like, I mean, Arsenal's an exception, but I mean, even then, 20 years they haven't won a title. I guess they're kind of an underdog at the moment. Andy Roddick in tennis was the only tennis player I really enjoyed watching, and he always lost to Federer in the final, always against the odds. You know, that was the same. And then St Kilda is the other one. Even Ricardo in the F1, kind of, you know. So maybe I think they chose me in a way. I think the way I was brought up, going to Geelong as well, gave me that mentality of like, I feel like I'm kind of against the odds in a lot of things that I do, and I have to work a little bit harder to get there. And maybe that's carried through to the football associations. So maybe they chose me.
You fell in love with St Kilda. You weren't given St Kilda.
I was Collingwood up
Collingwood
until
split up,
like
yeah.
0203, right? And St Kilda was shit, and that's when Collingwood was making grand finals. But yet, something drew me to St Kilda at that time. I didn't jump on when they were making prelims in 05 and grannies. I did it when we were building, but we were still shit. But I would watch Collingwood belt them by 80 points, and I would want to go for St Kilda, you know? So something about an underdog, something about doing it when everyone thinks that you can't do it, I feel like that resonates to me as a person, because I feel like a lot of people don't expect much from me, or maybe a surprise that Saints TV's going so well, and they, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, you're very passionate. I can't believe you're still doing it. It's like, no, I'm actually good at this. So it's kind of like, I like that story of surprising people against the odds. And I feel like that's why I get fired up when people talk shit about St Kilda, is because I feel like we are backs against the wall all the time. And I think we are starting to defy the odds, which makes it more satisfying to me. So I would say they picked me. I think that underdog status picked me, and I think that has taught me a lot of things in life. And I would never want to go for a big team that wins every year. Honestly, I wouldn't, because I feel like that would change me as a person. I wouldn't value the work as much. I would just value the outcome, if that makes sense. Just the winnings, but not the work to get there, which the club has definitely taught me, and patience. So that would be my answer, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Luke?
Love that. Yeah, I think so. My immediate family, like mum and dad and stuff, weren't, and I've said this multiple times, they weren't football fans or anything. So I didn't have a club force on me. Even though in the comments, my uncle Mario is a huge St Kilda supporter, so I don't know why he didn't try and get me on board with the Saints. But Yeah, so mine was kind of faded with just who I hung around with in primary school, and then in high school, and then it's for me it was like just friends, and it became a community where you'd go with your friends to the football, but you'd love hanging out with your friends, and then you start to love the club because they're taking you to the club, and then it obviously became something. Thanks, Uncle. It obviously became something bigger than just friends, and so I kind of I guess it was fated to be where I am right now, and I do believe that I do believe a lot in fate and the universe willing something into existence. And I wouldn't be doing what I do now if I wasn't a Collingwood supporter. If I was following anyone else, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing. I'd just be, just going to games and sort of enjoying it that way. But I think it was fated to be a Collingwood supporter, mainly because my parents and cousins and stuff didn't follow football at all.
Wow. Well, Pommy, your story is fascinating because you were a fully formed adult who came to the country, and you were handed Carlton. So, like, what is it for you? Is this just learned loyalty, or is
Well, you know what? Luke said something that really hit a nerve there, like really touched a wound. I remember, I was adopted as a kid by my grandparents. So I always consider supporting your sports team true love. And what I mean by that is I remember, without boring you, I was 11 years old and I used to bully this kid at the end of the road, right? And I used to call it whole tax. And he was a proper nerdy kid. And it was a stupid thing to do. But for that term, I bullied him and stole his lunch money, right? And as luck would have it, one day, my granddad talked to his dad and he worked out it was me. And my granddad went fucking mental. And he told me this life lesson that I was never going outside, no electronics for the entire summer holiday. I would pay this kid my entire allowance that I've made, give every cent back. And he told me that if he ever heard I picked on someone smaller than me or got into a fight with someone smaller than me, he would give me a good old fucking levering and you'd be out of the house. And I remember crying to my nan going, he's a fucking meanie. I hate him. How can he be this horrible? I've said I'm sorry. And my nan said something that's always stuck with me as a man, which was, for all your flaws of your granddad, I come from a generation where when something's broke, I just repair it. Like the cups, like the quilts. If something I love isn't worth his cherishing, I don't just throw it away and get a new one. I keep it forever. And she goes, you come from a generation that you go down to the shops and it's so cheap you can just replace something that works incredibly well. And she was like, if I can teach you anything, no matter how much Grandad upsets you, he loves you very dearly, like I love you. Accept who he is and realise that relationship is worth clinging on to, good through bad. And I've always looked at that with Man United. And that was probably the first time I ever fell in love was Man United. And now as a 40-year-old man, my wife, we've had many ups and downs. She's like Man United. Some days she pisses me off. Some days I want to get rid of her. In the heat of the moment, I do. And I'm sure she does me. But when I wake up in the morning, I am so thankful to wake up to my wife every morning. I feel the most blessed, like I do with United. So, and then I remember one day I got really upset. I was 13 years old now. And I'd gone to father-son camp, and my granddad at this stage was 88. And for the first time ever, he couldn't play. He couldn't come because he had a problem with his hip. And I was so upset that he couldn't play. And I wasn't upset that he was old. I was just upset that he couldn't be there for me and we could share a memory. And I remember him saying, son, when you go to school today with all the other dads, remember something. Any dickhead could be a dad. All it takes is 5 minutes of fun with a woman. But know this, I chose you to be my son. And not many men and women get the opportunity to choose their child. So no, my love for you is 10 times what their parents feel, because I have no obligation or nothing forced on. And that's how Carlton is for me. I didn't have to choose them. I didn't want to choose them. But it's the same love I feel for Man United, even though it's not something that I've got any allegiance to. But I chose that. Out of all 18 teams, I chose it. So whether they win or lose, I can get angry at it like my kids, like my granddad did me. I can get happy with it like they did. But at the end of the day, I chose that. And through the loyalty and the bond of forcing to choose it and wanting to choose it means that it'll never die. So I'll never give up on Carlton like my granddad never gave up on me and my grandma didn't. And so them two loves, I understand it from both sides. One of obligation and being forced to support Man United by my pop, and then Carlton, the one that I chose as a man to make my very own and keep it in my heart. So I think Luke's spot on. You sometimes find a bit of synergy and fate in life.
Love that. That was incredible. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a learned loyalty. My mum broke the mold. My grandfather was Essendon. My uncle was Collingwood. She hated them both as teams, and she wanted to just rebel. I think I get that gene from my mum, and so she chose Carlton because it was cooler. It was just better at the time. It was the times when it was all popping. But if she was a Collingwood supporter and I had gone to that Collingwood game and felt that energy the way I felt the energy in that Carlton game that I went to, which I haven't really forgotten about, then I would have been a Collingwood supporter, no matter which team it was. So Carlton was an escape for me from the fear of being in the household, because the household was very toxic. It was just no good. It wasn't a safe place to be when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So Carlton became the safe space. Going to the game was a safe space. So it served a purpose for me for a long time. And I guess I was always thankful for it. But I think now that I'm a fully grown adult, I've realized it's just a learned loyalty. Because I don't know if the club loves the fans. I don't know if the club can love the fans back the way the fans love the club. I don't think it can. I think there's too many people for it to show actual love to, personally, or maybe it can, and then there's that whole conversation about it just being a corporate entity sort of wrapped in nostalgia. So yeah, I think it's a learned loyalty, personally.
Yeah, I love that.
So, and that follows me on to my next question. So strip it back. What would your life look like without footy? No club, no game, no content. What would be missing? What would be freed up? And who would you be?
Oh, I think sport gives you so much. Like I said a bit earlier, it's so much community, and you make, you can. Well, I did Swoop. I started Swoop as therapy. Like, it was football is my time to sort of get away from everything. And I guess if I didn't have football and any of this and none, and yeah, just like no content, no nothing, not going to games every weekend, definitely I'll be able to live a little bit longer, because Collingwood just do me in with my heart every single week. So that probably adds a few years to my life, which would be nice. I think I'd be one, missing purpose if I don't have that, something to look forward to, something to commit to, something that for 3.5 hours, 4 hours on a Saturday night, I could just forget about everything. Once you step into the MCG, wherever it is, you just forget about absolutely everything. Nothing else matters. You had a shit day at work yesterday. You've got family dinner the next day with Uncle Mario, who's going to break your balls. You don't even have to worry about that. You just get into the MCG and you forget about it forget about all of it for 4 hours. I think that's so beautiful. And if I didn't have that, I'd just be, I think honestly, I'd be just really, really boring. And I'd have a lot more time for reading. But I'd just be lacking purpose. I think it would be my biggest thing, because football and Swoop gives me a lot of purpose in life, and it's led me to a lot of great people and great things. So I think that would be the biggest. It'll be a big missing puzzle piece in my life, would be the purpose.
Who wants to go next?
I don't know what the hell I mean, before Saints TV, I was doing Arsenal stuff, so I don't know if I'd move to the UK.
Really?
Yeah, I did my a Gunner Down Under. So I had like...
Oh, that's actually a cool name. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would watch Arsenal games at 2, 3 a.m. and then do the reviews, not live obviously, but I would film them, upload them to YouTube, and the more I did them, a few of them got the most views on that channel is still exceeding anything I've done on Saints TV. 17K at 17,000 when we beat Newcastle 7-3 and Theo Walcott got a hat trick. I remember that. So I'd probably be, maybe I would have moved to the UK and done some work with AFTV because that was on the cards, like speaking to Robbie and that sort of thing. Like, I feel like I would have done something that I need to watch something and then break it down. I really like doing that. Like if it's a movie, like you can't watch a movie and then just walk away. If you're watching it with me, I'm always like, oh, did you notice that scene? Or did you pick up on that and that feeling that it gave? I kind of deep dive into these things. So I feel like cameras would be involved. I would be trying to do short films. I would try to do I would try and do something because I feel like that's been an interest of mine since I was a kid because I filmed a lot of like little mini movies at home and this and that with the cousins and edit them and show them to the fam. And like even the other week I told you I did like some random music crap. It's like I would create something. I can't not create. It has to be something. It's got to be film. It's got to be audio. It's got to be... I did writing like at uni and I did poetry and put that online and all that shit. So don't find that. But I've always been more creative than... analytical. Like I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a mathematician. I sucked at all that at school. So yeah, if there was no football, I would probably be doing something similar as passionately for something else, to be honest. Like I think I would not be able to sit still and like what Swoop said, I'd be afraid that I'd be super boring if I didn't do something. Because I've even thought about that when I'm at home and there's no footy on or it's off season. I'm like, no football. Is this what I would be like if there was no football? Like when it's trade period and stuff. Like, is this what I would be if Saints TV didn't exist? And then on the flip side, I always think, am I doing Saints TV so hard and so passionately because I'm so afraid that if I didn't do it, I'd be fucking doing nothing. It's almost like out of fear the same way. Complacency, which I think everyone's probably got at some point. Like when you do things so strongly, it's not just because you absolutely love it, but it's also the fear of if you didn't do it, what would you be? But I think there's that fire in you that pushes you to do it. So yeah, I'd be like Swoop. I'd be terrified of not achieving anything if I didn't do it, but it would definitely be in a creative path for me. There would be something. I'd probably just do Gunner Down Under and go super hard on that. Which is what I stopped before the channel. Yeah.
Such a good name. Wow. Such a good name.
Thanks.
You're like Pommy in Oz. It's like a Pommy in Oz-ish type.
Yeah.
Except this came before, so let's just go. Pommy in Oz is kind of like a Gunner Down Under.
Pommy, what would you be?
Oh, dear. Okay, cool.
That's like the 11th pot shot of the night.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's a good job I've grown thick skin, isn't it? Well, I mean, without football, it's hard to say this, but I think I would have probably been back home now. I think.
Wow.
100%. Because I remember before my father-in-law got me into it and stuff like that, I would have probably been pushing Zoe to move home ASAP because I always felt like Australia was probably... I've had the privilege of living in some wonderful countries, do you know what I mean? All around Europe, all around Asia, India, beautiful places. And something always drew me back home, that sense of belonging. And that's why I never stayed too long and was always glad to see, proper Greg's pasty, proper cup of tea. No one says hello quite like an English person where they actually mean it. And I've never experienced that anywhere. And Australia was quite hard. I find Australia probably the most unwelcoming place I've ever lived until football came into my life. Incredibly unwelcoming. I feel like everything society and cultural wise is set up to make you not feel welcome as an Englishman. But then football came in, and like I started to work with Terry, and that was pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? That was pretty cool. And then some things happened with Zoe where I took some time away from Blue Abroad, and I'll never forget. It was November 2019. I never forget one of the worst moments of my life. So I'd lived here so long that my driving license was actually illegal. I used to drive on my English license. I'd never gone to Vic Roads to do it, and you only get 6 months. And I happened to drive to work that day, and there was so much going on at home. Zoe had just come back home after what she'd gone through. I'd had like 3 months of living with the kids and looking after them pretty much solo, and it was the weirdest expression. I can't describe it, but as I was driving and I was about 100 meters away from work, everything became amplified, real loud noise, and it felt like I was looking through myself from behind. And I pulled the car up, and I never forget, I just burst into tears, proper erupted. I can't tell you why I was sad. I never forget, there was this real fat guy walking a dog, and he came over to me and he was like, "Are you all right, mate?" And out of instinct, I just put my arms around him and just started crying, right? And long story short, I went to work and they sent me up to the hospital, and I'd had an anxiety attack, and they said to me that everything you'd been through the last 2 years, you've bottled up. I'd gone through my brother dying, Zoe getting ill, all that thing. They said it had just come out. You've like ignored it for so long. So then when COVID happened, it was Terry started doing all these things, like talking about Carlton. And I probably for the first time in my life felt not wanted anymore because Terry was doing all these things. And Terry was on the phone to me one day and he was like, "Just go on your own, do your own stuff." And I don't want to say Pommy stops Uncle Pom lose his mind. But quite often there has been times where some real bad things have happened. And I remember during COVID, times was really hard. My father-in-law got ill. He was in and out of hospital. Some things happened to the kids, and it was tough. And there was some days where I just switch on the camera, and the best thing ever was being able to talk to you guys and girls for 20 minutes. Because for that 20 minutes, nothing was real anymore. I was Pomming Oz. I had to be funny. I had to tell jokes. I had to find a way to make myself pretend everything was okay. And I used to dread shutting the camera off because I was like, I had to experience what I was going through. So genuinely, I think the channel was giving me an outlet, not as a way to escape or fill a void, but I think the channel was giving me something to fill time, to be productive, to focus on something that isn't being a dad, that isn't being a husband, that isn't being Daniel. It's something beautiful that I can focus my energy on. That's bigger than me. That's bigger than this. And yeah, I probably rambled then and just talked nonsense. But yeah, it means something more to me than just a channel. That's why I get angry when I see people do stupid shit for views and stuff. Because to me, it probably has delivered me from a very dark place. As a former drug addict, I fear in 2020, would I have stayed clean? Would I have gone back to the method I always know when I'm struggling? Or did I find something that could free me? And yeah, I think it probably made me a better human, a better husband, a better dad, and a better person ultimately, because I had something to channel my insecurities. And I feel quite confident now. Do you know what I mean? I can be a dickhead in front of you and watch you make memes on me. Do you know what I mean? Not get upset. Hey, yeah, I'm a ticking time bomb though, chat. Just so you know, ticking time bomb.
Wow.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
Fucking hell, Terry, is this like some kind of fucking psychology session? So I fucking just break down, dickhead.
I have my ways. I think I would be building community in some way, shape, or form for something else. It would be basketball. I think I'd be doing some sort of YouTube channel for basketball. Carlton and basketball are my two loves as a child. I love the game of basketball, like the intricacies of basketball. I could analyze a game of basketball way better than I could analyze a game of footy. Like for sure.
Really?
For sure. Like,
Wow.
And I mean like to the millimeter of the game. I was obsessed with it. So I think I'd be doing something like this for basketball. Or I'd be building some sort of a community in the legal space. I don't know if you guys know, I started building this blog called Laptop Lawyer many, many years ago. It was I was working for a firm. I wanted to get a pay rise. My boss said, well, you need to be bringing in more money to the business so you can get more of a cut, which like fair enough. So I started this blog called, it was like a Facebook page called Laptop Lawyer. And I would essentially, before AI came out, I would take all the legal jargon under a range of different topics, whether it was like sentencing or drink driving or divorce or whatever. And I would summarize it into like normal language for like the everyday person to understand, as a means to build an audience. And then, so I would give that out for free. And then whenever someone actually needed paid legal work, that would, in theory, come to me and I would be able to bring in more clients. And that got shut down by my boss because he just didn't understand what was happening with the digital age. So from that point on, I knew I was always meant to work for myself and do it my way. So I would be doing something with law or something with basketball, but I'd be building some sort of community somewhere. Sure. It wasn't for
Oh, really?
I remember vintage Terry. I do. I remember your hype sports interviews.
Yeah.
I remember listening to you as a podcast.
Yeah. It's come a long way, man. Fuck. There's so much content.
You know what? We talk about relationships. I remember, right, if you ever want a life lesson from an old man, I remember, so Terry came across my desk and met a mutual friend of ours called Dane. Right, me and Dane used to talk religiously about football, like I do now. That used to be our DMs. We used to talk all the time, and he used to show me podcasts because he was quite into the podcast space. I wasn't a big fan of the podcast space. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never really liked Arsenal fan TV unless I'm watching it to take the piss out of Arsenal losing. And I never forget, he came across this thing and there was this dude who looked like a pretty boy. He lived in Jerusalem and he was chatting bare shit on the podcast. And I listened to it a few times and I never forget, it's horrible to say, but we used to nickname him Jew Abroad because we were like, he's definitely Jewish. Right? And then I used to comment because I actually listened to it and I was like, you know what I like about Terry is he isn't like these other Australians who are way too emotional, telling me how they feel about life. I didn't care. I wanted to talk about the football and how the football made them feel. And I started commenting and then I never forget the Port Adelaide game. Do you remember you were in China and you were like, hey, Pommy, would you like to do the preview review of the game? And you might remember it, some of you OGs, I had a shitty jumper in the background that was falling down. Oh, dear, what a fucking idiot. But yeah, there it is. But I'll tell you what, Terry's like a little brother to me. So like it grew up from me going, who the hell is this guy? Where I've shared some of my deepest, darkest desires, fears with Terry. He's helped me through a lot of things and I hope I've helped him through some things. And like, honestly, you don't often hear these words from a man, but I can't love someone more than I love Terry. I love him like a brother, man. Like, literally love him like a brother.
Oh, well, what's going on here?
No, but legit, man. Like you think about that, like two guys, and honestly, my mates in England all the time take the piss because they're like, who's the fucking pretty boy? What's this? He's not one of us, bro. And like, I speak to them and go, Terry is one of us, man. Like, he's one of us. Like, he thinks like us just because he looks like a lawyer. He looks like he's got his head up the arse. He hasn't. Right? He hasn't. He's one of us. But, like, that was their impression. My boys back home were like, why are you fucking hanging around with this guy, man? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but it's genuine. Sometimes get out of your own insecurity. Get out of your own stereotype. Sometimes the person out there is what you need in your life, and it's probably because you've got a preordained judgment of what they are. So, there you are. There's my 10 pence.
Thanks, bro. That's very nice. Yeah, love you too.
He does look like a lawyer, wooden spoon data. Honestly, the Terry's doesn't surprise me very often. There's two, like, honestly, I knew he was a lawyer. That didn't surprise me. It was when he told me he wasn't Jewish. We'd worked together like 3 years when you told me that you weren't Jewish. Absolutely blew me away.
a non-Jew that lived in Israel who's Greek with the Persian Iranian surname. I'm probably a spy somewhere else in another life.
I'll never forget having that beer with you, and I just asked you like about like saying, well, obviously you're Jewish, and you were like, what made you think that? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like what?
Anyways,
Surely not.
lads, that was fantastic. We need to move on though. Wow, that was very powerful stuff. Yeah, very, very powerful stuff. Do we dare go into lock of the week again? We've got Gather Round coming up. Wait, are any of you going to Gather Round?
Nah.
I'm there. I'm driving up on Thursday. So
I really want to go.
fun.
I'd go, but it's sold out, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
I'd go to any game. Honestly, I reckon I'd love to go. I'd love to go Adelaide Geelong.
That'd be a good game.
Anyone sort me out tickets? I'll drive up to Adelaide Geelong. Let's do it.
How did we go for locks of the week? I can't believe I went against the rule. Never pick Carlton lock of the week. Just don't stop doing it.
It's Terry's fault.
Luke?
My lock of the week is Carlton, actually, against West Coast.
Oh, come on. Gee.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. My lock of the week, I had it picked in my head.
Was
before.
mine North? Couldn't have been.
Oh, my lock of the week. Okay, this is going to sound really fucking stupid, but my lock of the week is going to be Melbourne over Essendon.
Ooh.
Yep. 0-4. I'm still not feeling. I said this all of last season as well, that I'm still not feeling Essendon, and I still am not feeling Essendon. So my lock of the week would be Melbourne to bounce back. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think it's at Adelaide Oval, right? It must be.
It is.
Saturday night.
Yeah. So my lock of the week will be. I don't know if I'm going to that game. I'm going to 4 or 5, but it'll be Melbourne over Essendon.
I'm going to 4 or 5, just casually at 4 or 5.
Oh, it's just like they got like a 3-game pass thing that you can just buy. So it's gonna be good. And the prize game.
So they've made it like Wet and Wild.
Yeah. I'll be wet and wild. Let me tell you, it's gonna be good.
You're not talking about the football anymore, are you?
No, not at
All right. Let's move on.
Jake, help us steady the ship, mate. What do we got going on? What's your lock of the week?
Ooh, Port over the Hawks. Final game Gather Round. Port over the Hawks. I reckon they've gone 4-0. They're due, and Port at home. Yeah, we beat them, but they were all right. They were okay.
Oh,
I can see them beating the Hawks. So I think back to reality. Hawk Balls, it's gotten a good run. Everyone's loving them. They're winning every week. Everyone's posting reels. No Will Day now. He's out for 4 months. I think that's going to take a hit in the midfield, and Port are going to get up. So I'll go Port.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we double up on locks of the week? Can we like piggyback?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was thinking Port. Pommy, do you have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what have you got?
So I'm 2 out of 3 going with unfavourites, and we're going to be 3 out of 4 with this one. Barassa Park, Sunday, April the 13th. Richmond do the unthinkable, and they beat Fremantle.
Oh, Jesus.
Because Fremantle and GWS are holding hands at the minute as the biggest frauds in AFL football.
Damn,
you think the Giants are frauds? You think the Giants are frauds?
Yeah, mate, you just think that. You've just been culturally been told to believe GWS are good, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? Some people fall for it. They're not good. I'm telling you, Richmond
I hope they're not
beating the Dockers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Look, I could have gone Saints will beat GWS. Everyone knows that. It's not exciting. Richmond are going to expose the Dockers this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I still everyone got crazy when the Dockers beat the Dogs, who were missing a bunch of players at home. Like it was a big deal. So yeah, I agree. I don't think the Dockers are traveling as well as
They've got Mongrel. They've got Mongrel, mate. They've got Mongrel. Tell you.
I'm gonna go back to what works when I go lock of the week. My Saints will beat the Giants this weekend. When I see
Yes,
Liam,
baby.
when I see Liam Stocker attitude and I
Going to
see that group
school, Sunday
connected,
arvo.
not letting anyone push their teammate around, they've been that defensive team
Mates.
for a while. Now they've just unlocked it. They're at Norwood Oval. They should be at Adelaide Oval. My Saints will beat the Giants on the weekend.
Love that. Jake, I'm actually going to that game with Sammy. We'll be watching
Oh,
together.
beautiful. Yeah, nice.
My boy.
Yeah, cheer
Should be good.
hard for us.
I will.
While you're there.
Question. What happens if West Coast beat Carlton?
Oh, not happening. It's not happening.
Oh.
Nah.
It's not gonna happen.
I let you lie last week. Lies
Like-
make baby Jesus cry. I ain't making a baby cry.
You're struggling, but you're not
Nah.
that.
You're not-
shit.
you're
There's
not-
You're
no
not that
struggle.
shit.
No struggle. Carlton by 10 goals. It's totally fine. West Coast Eagles, all due respect, borderline if they're a fucking football team at the minute. Honestly.
If we were talking the next week against North, is it North?
Yeah.
Nah,
Then-
we'll beat them as well. Behave. Carlton
But
batter
I'm just saying North aren't as
Eagles.
bad as
Yeah.
North are not West Coast. They're better.
Look, you've won 3 pretty little games out of 4. We've given you your kudos. You're wearing a fucking
What's this
tie.
got
You're
to
still
do
off a
with me?
player.
What's this got to do with me?
Just calm it. We're not very good at the minute, 0-4. But in 3 weeks' time, we will be 4-2, and everything's all gravy, baby. It's all right. Blues are back. Blues are beating them by 10 goals.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that in a fortnight, when you beat West Coast and the Kangaroos, your last 4 victories will have been against West Coast and the Kangaroos.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what I mean? All right, cool.
Aren't you guys looking forward to it?
Stop spitting facts, Luke. Luke, come on.
Hey, aren't you looking forward to when we win a couple of games and we get that false hope up again? Like,
And then they get shut down. Oh,
And-
just
yeah.
to see Dan Orange's TikToks. Woo!
Look, I've slated them for 4 weeks, right? I've chastised them. Their little baby Pom being forced at summer holiday to sit in his room with nothing but paper and a fucking pen, right? I'm letting them out now for the next 2 weeks. I am fully behind them until they do something to piss me off. So I'm going to believe they beat them by 10 goals. They'll go and play Clark ball and turn that into mid ball. And then we play Geelong. And that's when it really matters. So they've got 2 weeks, 2 training games, kick ass. So I can come on this show and I can wear a tie I stole from a player and sunglasses from the server.
We beat some good teams. Now. We've beaten 2 prelim finalists. Yeah, so just take it easy. All right.
Okay, we were a game. But mate, when I came on this show after being, when I came on this show after we were a game off the grand final, I didn't wear servo sunglasses, did I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
because you expect it. You think all good things come to you for no reason. Saints fans, we go through shit. We've got to deal with it. We've got to cop it, all right? We cop it every bloody day, even when we're good, yeah? So let us enjoy it. Sit in your corner, let us enjoy it.
I'm not saying you can't, but let me enjoy it. Blues are back, baby.
Win and then say you're back.
Blues are back, baby. It's already happened. Look, we can't possibly lose to it. Clip that. Can't possibly lose to the Eagles. If we do, I'm not asking for a board spill. I'm going to save the AFL 200 million. We'll fuck off to Tassie. That's how you fix it. Get them out of my sight, out of mind. We'll play in Tasmania, the Carlton Mania Blues or whatever you want to call us. Tas Carlton. I don't care anymore. Calmania. That sounds good, actually. I'm keeping it.
Calmania sounds pretty good. Yeah. Write that down.
You know what I mean? I'll be the mascot instead of that stupid bear or whatever it is.
All right. I've got that time stamped.
okay. Well, that
126.
I can't wait to come back tomorrow next week on the back of a 12-point loss.
Always kicking the sealer. Kicking the sealer and doing his jumper thing. Doing his jumper thing that just annoyed me so much whenever he played
logo.
the pause. Yeah.
I wish someone else would point and like grab their jumper now at Carlton. Anyway,
TD.
Well, they haven't. I mean, to be fair, Terry, can you imagine if any of these dickheads in the second quarter, when they've averaged 1 goal 4 in the second half, had the audacity to kiss their badge? Do you know what I mean?
by the way, Jake, I've absolutely changed my tune. I think Tom de Koning's leaving.
Ah, interesting.
No
Yeah.
comment.
Yep.
I remember when Connor Rogers took the piss out of you that you said you'd take a first rounder for TDK. We might get less, bro.
Exactly.
Might
Connor,
get less
where are
than
ya?
fucking a top
Where
5
are ya?
pick.
I was
Yeah.
right. I knew. Make
We
the
should get
deal
him on.
done. Yeah.
We'll take your best big man. That's okay.
Yeah. You know, if he goes to
Damn.
St Kilda, he'll get injured.
We'll see. We'll see. He's got to come to us
Destination-
first, mate. It's
destination
only round
club.
4. If you go on a big run and we turn to shit, he might stay for less money. We don't know.
You know, if TDK leaves, do you know who I want?
Darcy Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Give me a
rough.
proper ruckman. Do you know what I mean? He's got a proper ruckman's haircut. He wears bandages in the right way. Do you know, give me a bit of the Darce dog.
The Darce
Yeah.
dog, mate. The GOAT. He's the best.
And tell you what, throw in his mate Nick Dacos. He's not bad at footy, that guy.
Would you
As long as you give us Sam Walsh, we'll be happy.
Sam Walsh on a first rounder that they get for TDK? Would they get it done?
Wait, are you saying you'd give me Darcy Cameron and Nick Dacos for Sam
And
Walsh?
Nick Taylor-
I was taking the piss.
I'll fucking drive him round now if you want.
Just a quick question. I know we've got to wrap up, but Pom, you would probably know this. So your first rounder is going to Hawthorn, wherever it is. If TDK does leave, does your first rounder become where it would have been, even though it's Hawthorn's now, or is it the next one?
Okay, so how the AFL work is, the caveat for this is it's not what some people think, and we'll get 2 seconds. It would be currently, if the ladder finished now, Carlton would get pick 3, which is Hawthorn's. We would be pick 4. If it was band 1, which at 1.7 million a year.
So even if it's that even though that's Hawthorn's pick, it's technically still your pick. So you get the next one.
So the first round, so number 3, pick 3 would stay as Hawthorn. We get the pick after it. So Hawthorn aren't penalised at all. They still get a better pick. Then it's Carlton in next. So
right,
we'd
so
have
kind of
pick
just
4.
it kind of just like evens itself out, even though you lose TDK. But anyway,
And
all right, cool.
remember there is no AFL caveat so far that you have multiple picks as well. So the AFL have expressed that for years it's just 1 pick and 1 pick only. So this could be huge because we've never had a salary that high. But I think it will just be 1 pick because I think the AFL will start opening a dangerous game of we'll tell you how much a player's worth, a first and a second. I think it will just be the 1 pick as well.
Yep.
So pick 4 to fix a list.
It can
Can't
be
wait to
done.
be outside the G telling Terry that this Nets player is the Nets fucking Luke Hodge.
Luke Hodge. Oh, fuck. We have fun.
Well, that's been great. That has been great. Lads, well done. Chat, well done. I think we covered all bases. Footy, emotions, and then back to banter. Yeah.
It's good ebb and flow. Good ebb and flow.
Make sure you all have a good night. Good luck to every team this weekend. Surely we come here next week and everyone's won. Like, just surely for the vibes, you know?
Fingers crossed.
I don't wish this on you two boys because I love and respect both of your teams with all my heart, but it would be great if me and Terry could sit on the top and you two just have the L. And all I'll hear from you two will be this. It's only West Coast. Calm yourself down.
Well,
100% that's what you'll call.
But it would be, if you're being super picky, surely you would look at the way you're playing, not the result.
Nah, I'm going to be totally honest. If Carlton win and you two lose, I'll just do this to you the entire show.
Mate, we're playing the Giants. I don't give a shit, all right? It's a free hit. It's a good team. I'll cop it. But when we played
Fraud
Richmond,
watch, mate.
When we played Richmond, we belted them and played a really exciting brand. Surely you want to see that against the Eagles.
I just
You
want
don't
to
want to
win.
win 70 to. You don't want to win 70 to 40. Surely. What
Bro, I'll
You
take
need to know what
Is
Carlton
it
are
that
at right
bad?
now.
Is it that bad that you
It's
would
bad,
take 70 to
mate.
40?
It's like,
Because I would
mate,
not.
we're
Jake,
talking bad.
Jake, I need a vibe. I can't keep
You need
losing.
just something.
Forever.
Okay.
Mate, I will take Matty Owi's back pocket slipping and kicking backwards for a point for Carlton to win.
Wow. Okay, that's a clip swoop. Can you? That's 132.
Yeah,
Can you
I've
do
got
that?
132. Got that
It's
as well.
okay. I've come back from the future. Carlton win by 10 goals. So my vibe will be fucking amazing
Yeah,
next
you,
week.
you always flog him anyway, and Kerno kicks 50% of his yearly score against West Coast.
And, and let's be honest, out of the four of us, only one team's playing a real team next week, and that's Sydney and Collingwood, because GWS aren't a real fucking team. Fraud watch. Mickey Mouse Club. Like you should be honestly, the margin should be 5 goals minimum. It's a loss if you don't beat them by more than 5 goals. Fraud watch. Fraud.
Why? What have they done this year to dictate that?
What beating up on GWS and thinking you're amazing because Jesse Hogan can go 9 shots, 9 goals, mate. Come on, it's just champagne football. It's Harlem Globetrotter stuff. They were lucky. Right. Collingwood. McRae must have told them another analogy. Yeah, I mean, and they've switched off that game. Who've they beat?
His jokes.
Fraud
his
watch.
Jokes fell flat.
No, that's true. They beat Melbourne and the Eagles and Collingwood in round 1 that weren't ready. So you're probably right.
Fraud watch.
Interesting. Well, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see on Tuesday.
Jake slating Kerno. I'm watching Jake slating Kerno. Jake slating Kerno.
Didn't he kick 19 goals on them 2 years ago? 10
yes,
9 or something? He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about it like everyone can do it.
No, I'm saying it's a lot of goals against one team. It's almost a compliment. Who else
can do it? Who do you think? Who else in the league can do it apart from the Coleman medalist?
Hogan for sure.
The Coleman medalist. Who else?
Yeah.
Who else do you think can do it?
I reckon Fogarty or Walker. Larky maybe on his day. Ben King now, like a Ben King now, as opposed to 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
The power forward's almost coming back into vogue in a way, isn't it?
I think
People
so.
think.
I think.
Yeah.
We don't have one, but Jackie Higgins has got 12, so I'll take that.
All right.
All right,
Love
lads.
you all. Peace out.
Yep. See you guys.
See ya.